This is a really interesting situation. As I said, I'm not going to stand in here between this limb and here.
Right.
So I think that the goal is to try and use this piece here to get the one stem off of this dead ash tree, which is interesting. Where did this come from?
Right here.
Oh yeah, right here. Okay, so it came from there. So yeah, so if we do a little limbing here, we cut this piece here, I think we can maybe slide this whole stem down and use this lower tree. Now, the only thing we got to be careful of is that as that slides down, especially if it comes off of it,
right,
when we remove that weight, this tree may or may not want to spring up. One of the things that's interesting though is that the other stem is at the union of this tree. You see that?
Yeah.
Is in there.
And that's held in place by that big, the rest of the whole tree.
The rest of the whole tree, correct. And because this is resting on the ground and this is really solid, there's no wiggle, and that's part of the weight. Okay. That's why it's worth it, I think, to try and do the cut here, see if we can slide this down, get rid of that weight. Then I think we'll assess whether we're going to continue to cut here or whether we're going to go downhill, or whether I'm going to go up under here and cut this and let this whole thing come down. But there's so much weight on there, I'd rather try and get rid of the one stem first. All right? Are you with me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. We've got a really good escape route here. Okay.
Yes.
The only issue is we have some rocks. This is part of what's known as the OLIC discussion, which is the objective: clear the trail safely. Hazards. We're already talking about the hazards. Escape route.
Okay.
Well, it's actually log analysis, escape route, and then the actual cut plan. And we've kind of melded some of those together. We're talking about it all at one, and then ultimately there's a ton of vines on those lower trees.
Right.
But I'd like to get rid of the upper tree first as best we can, and then go from there.
Okay.
Again, in looking at this, if we get rid of the one, we may, the more I look at it, we may have to go in and cut this tree here at its base to allow the rest of this to go down. We may have to do that.
That's under a lot of pressure, though.
It is, right? And that's part of the reason why I want to get rid of this one stem off of it to reduce the weight on it. But yes, there's an enormous amount of pressure in there. And it's going to be a lot of work because we've got to get rid of all the vines. You've got the rocks. We'd have to look at the escape route.
Yes.
Because the problem is if we start to take weight off of that end, this is going to want to tip down, which is okay. But then this tree may want to go up. There's a lot of trees. There is a lot going on here. No question about it. Much more than was sort of initially visible.
Yeah, I did kind of say it was a big tangle.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that your description was bad, but it's one of those things where
it's hard to capture in a picture.
Yes, exactly. Very hard to capture this in a picture. It's going to be a lot of cuts. Huh? Yep. Okay, so here's what I need you to do for me. Sure. If you put the cutters down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little limbing, and I'll either hand you the limb or you can come in. I think the idea of the limbs is just get them down there. Same thing here. And then we'll approach this.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, do that a little more.
Huh?
Go ahead, pull a little more and let me just see.
I don't think it's binding. It's just heavy as heck.
It is. It's bound on a tiny thing right here. If you look, there's a tiny little knot that sticks up.
They won't let it
That
fly.
little tiny thing is all it takes. So if you would just grab this, and again, you're going to pull sort of in that direction a little bit. That ain't moving. Ah, ooh. Go ahead,
Oh, that's it.
go ahead, pull. There we go.
It's gonna bounce it all the way. Oh, now you're on the good side.
Okay. Actually, let's take that strap off now.
Beautiful.
Thing of beauty. Instead of chunking that whole thing up
That was slick, yeah.
and having to move all that. All right,
Okay, next test.
next task. What I'm now thinking is if I can get to a spot where I can cut this other piece and this falls away. We could then do the same thing with that other piece potentially. You with me?
Yes, yes.
So let me just go in here and take a look.
This one has a lot more.
Yeah,
things
I
at
got to
the
go
end.
down, look down at the other end and see if it's bound. But if we can get that other piece to slide across this piece just like we did with the other one, that would be really, really nice.
Yeah,
Really, really nice.
yeah, that would be.
The big issue is that's a lot of weight that's got to come off, which is okay. I just got to make sure that I'm in a safe position to do it.
It's going to be hard to get that. You know, you got to watch where that's going to drop. You don't
Yeah,
wanna come
well,
back
so-
that way.
So the beauty of this is, well, there's a couple things you gotta be careful. One is this end, if it hits there, may force it this way. But you see there's that rock there?
Yeah.
That offers me some protection. Plus, if I do the cut that I plan to do, what would happen is it would have a Dutchman on the bottom. Okay. So the Dutchman would be a kerf on the bottom. And then if I cut it from the top, what should happen is when it starts to go, it initially will sag and the Dutchman will close,
Okay.
but then it won't do anything. It should settle straight down.
Because this looks like it's gonna want to go like that.
Well, so that is the other issue, and that's a very good observation, is that this may want to rotate that way, but if this is longer, you follow?
Okay.
But it's gonna definitely we're gonna have to see, because as I'm cutting through it, there's definitely rotational forces wanting to happen.
Happen on that. And you don't want to come back at you.
No. So that's why I gotta go in there and take a look and see and figure out, okay, is it feasible?
Right.
Because from here, it looks feasible, but it may not be. And then if not, then we're gonna have to figure out what the other plan is.
Right.
But the fact we've gotten rid of so much of that weight already,
That was really slick. That was like a made for us.
okay, ready?
Okay.
Just, like I say, move away.
So it'll slide. Those two ends are free then?
What's that?
The two ends are
Those
free.
two ends look like they're above everything. So we just got to cut some more of these vines here. So if you give me the saw back. Got it. I got one more, I think, on the other side I gotta cut.
Okay.
Right here. We're sliding. Okay.
You're right.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Beauty of it is now, if we get a stick,
You think it's a vine?
it's possible. Yes.
This is tricky, huh? Because it's under different.
Well,
tension.
that's what I'm observing now. So I think there's, I have two thoughts here. One is we could limit, right?
Right.
A lot of these limbs have pressure on them because of the weight of this.
Yeah.
So it's a function of whether we separate, in particular now the weight's on here, not so much on here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some weight probably from the lower one, but not really much.
Not much.
So I could cut this, right? I don't want to be between there or there. And then we could cut this and see what happens with this tree.
This one up here.
But now that tree is a separate issue in that all of the real tension in it is gone.
Okay.
We've
yeah.
gotten rid of the weight.
Yeah.
Once we cut this, if the tree lifts a little bit, it's not a big deal. We go and sever it there, and then we drop it to the ground, and then we're
It
done.
may want to come up.
And
this way.
it may just a function of how much, and that's the beauty. That's why I want to get rid of this here,
Okay.
then here, but I've got a very good escape route back this way. Okay? Are you in agreement?
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Any issues you see? that, you could swap that other stuff. Okay, set it down. Think all that done. Find something you can cut here. Hold this for me. Step over. I think most of them would have cut it up in piecemeal. They might have dropped the other tree first and then cut them,
Yeah.
which would have meant a lot more cutting. And I'll ask you, did you see me do anything that you felt was dangerous? That you felt what I did was dangerous?
Not really. That one that came down by your foot was a little tricky, but you knew
the big saw?
the big one, yeah.
But so from your perspective, I understand that. From my perspective, I'm watching the curve.
Oh, plus I knew that it wasn't like you went. "Ah." You were just like, oh, okay. I knew exactly where it was going to go.
Correct.
That's the thing.
And that's the
experience, you know.
and that does come from experience. But you can't be cavalier about it. You know what I mean? Because there's always the possibility you're wrong, and I don't ever take that for granted. You know what I mean? So.
No, this is you know, you got to be very careful with that saw and with the trees.